Hello everyone, nice to meet you again with the Disney 3D Art YouTube channel. In today's video it will be the character Timon from the movie The Lion King. Timon is a major character in Disney's 1994 animated feature film The Lion King and the protagonist of the 2004 film The Lion King 1.5. He is a wisecracking meerkat and the best friend of Pumbaa, a warthog. Though he originates from an industrious family, Timon lives an easygoing lifestyle of grub eating and sleeping, under a problem-free philosophy called Hakuna Matata. Timon is the best friend of Pumbaa, the friend and guardian, when he was a cub, of Simba, the son of Ma and the nephew of Uncle Max. Inspired by the idea of having a major predator on their side in The Lion King, he and Pumbaa took Simba in when he collapsed of heat exhaustion and guilt after his father's death. There are two versions regarding Timon's origin. In the Timon and Pumbaa episode Once Upon a Timon, Timon lived in a colony that was ruled by the Duke Meerkat, and every meerkat in the colony had specific duties in which they all take seriously. One day, the Duke was away and Timon had guard duty. But he left his post to speak with Princess Tatiana, the daughter of Duke Meerkat, whom Timon had a large crush on. However, a snake invaded the colony and kidnapped Tatiana after Timon was gone. As a result, Timon got blamed for abandoning his post and was exiled from the colony. He soon met and befriended Pumbaa, who was also an outcast. The two then came across Tatiana, who was held captive by the snake, and rescued her. When Timon and Tatiana returned to their kingdom with the help of Pumbaa, Timon was offered to marry the princess and get the good life he could ever want, but he decided to live the Hakuna Matata life with Pumbaa instead. In The Lion King 1.5, however, Timon and his colony lived in underground tunnels where they dig in constant fear of hyenas. Timon is primarily shown as the everyman meerkat of his colony, who longs for a better life and, according to him, where we don't have to dig tunnels and live with our heads stuck in the sand. Due to his poor digging skills, he was disliked by his fellow meerkats. His mother convinced his Uncle Max to put him on sentry duty, but it ended in disaster as Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed invaded. As the meerkats, except Ma, blamed Timon for the invasion, Timon decided to find a new home as he felt he didn't fit in. In the earliest versions of The Lion King, Timon and Pumbaa were portrayed as children from the Pride Lands that were childhood friends of Simba. It was later decided that Timon and Pumbaa would be outcasts so that Simba would have someone to take him under their wings after his exile. When writing Hakuna Matata, Timon had a verse explaining his backstory. According to the song, Timon was a misfit amongst his meerkat colony as he refused to work. This ultimately led to his banishment. The filmmakers felt the verse wasn't working, so it was instead changed to focus on Pumbaa's backstory instead. Nathan Lane originally auditioned for the parts of Zazu and one of the hyenas. During a recording session for the latter role, Nathan worked with his friend Ernie Sabella. The chemistry between the two were so strong and authentic that the filmmakers decided that Lane and Sabella should be cast to instead play Timon and Pumbaa, respectively. Interestingly, Nathan Lane and Ernie Sabella are some of the few voice actors in Disney animation history to record their dialogue together, rather than separately as is the usual case for voice work. Rice, however, said to have gotten the idea for the lyrics for the song from watching the BBC comedy series Bottom. And at one point he wanted the show's stars Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson to play Timon and Pumbaa respectively. In the Lion King films, Timon can be self-centered and thoughtless at times. One example is proven when they decided to take Simba in, where he robs Pumbaa of the credit Pumbaa rightfully deserves. But in the end, he has a good heart and is loyal to his friends and family. Unlike most meerkats, who work constantly, Timon is a daydreamer, which results in him being an outcast of his colony. His status at the bottom of the food chain means he relies on stronger animals to protect him once he's on his own. And as such, he usually looks out for himself, but nonetheless, never abandons his friends and family in times of trouble and is willing to risk himself for them. He is also shown to be self-absorbed and not as clever as he'd like to think he is, such as sometimes claiming Pumbaa's good ideas as his own. Timon is not incapable of thinking up his own plans, though, as shown by one of his greatest moments being the tunnels plan in The Lion King 1.5. He is also a bit of a coward, but with some amount of ability to be a bit of a daredevil. As evidenced by the part of The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, where he tried to intimidate Zira by sarcastically introducing himself and Pumbaa to her and yelling at her to get out of their Pride Lands. But it backfired when Zira instantly replied, "Your Pride Lands," and roared, and Timon hid behind Pumbaa. In The Lion King 1.5, Timon is shown to have a very good heart in this film and is loving in some scenes between him and Ma and shares a strong bond with her. Additionally, it is shown that, while he only chose to adopt Simba because he could protect him and Pumbaa, he actually treated Simba like his own son. Even saying to Pumbaa that Simba is growing up after being defeated by the teenage lion. However, Timon also shows a selfish side when he refuses to help Simba challenge Scar and prefers to stay alone in the jungle rather than going to Pride Rock with Pumbaa, though he regrets what he has done. After encountering Rafiki a second time and decides to make up with his friends and help Simba. Timon is also iconic for being best friends with Pumbaa, the warthog. The two are nearly inseparable and are shown together constantly. Being extremely close, they share interests such as sleeping, fun-filled activities, and most of all, eating bugs, which they mostly refer to as grubs. The duo is also known to argue time and time again, mostly because of Timon's selfishness and Pumbaa's ultimate nobility causing their personalities to clash. Even so, they never separate for long, and soon enough, their bond is tightened once again. Also, while Pumbaa is generally the true brains of the outfit, he is still very childish. With Timon is shown to be rather protective of the warthog when the latter is in some kind of unfortunate event due to his naivety. This is an example of Timon's ultimate loyalty towards his friends and family. Despite his self-absorbed nature, he will eventually come around to do what's right. Despite the sacrifices he has to make. Timon has also demonstrated his more selfish side in the Timon and Pumbaa TV series. Notable examples are in To Kilimanjaro Bird, where Timon callously steals a bowlful of bugs from a baby eagle and is initially reluctantly about babysitting the eagle in retribution. In You Gonna Join the Club, he needlessly steals a watch from a lion when retrieving a set of jingle bells. In How to Beat the High Costa Rica, after Timon and Pumbaa retrieve a case full of stolen money from criminal Quint, Timon squanders it all on himself instead of taking it to the police. In Can You Be My Friend, Timon forgets Bestest Best Friend Day, and outright prefers to end his friendship with Pumbaa instead of admitting that he forgot, although they reconcile and he continues to deny forgetting it to avoid breaking Pumbaa's heart, among others. In these instances, it is usually Pumbaa who is the voice of reason and helps Timon to make the right decision. Timon can also realize his mistakes and is willing to take responsibility for his actions. Examples being in Never Everglades, where he regrets what he said to Pumbaa about Pumbaa Jr. needing to be with his own kind, which caused the alligator to run away from home, Maine IACs. Where he confesses to Boss Beaver that he is responsible for his lumber mill burning down and sacrifices the last penny he has, and Timon, Alone, where he shows remorse for abandoning Pumbaa and criticizes himself for doing so. Other than those times, Timon is also shown to be caring towards his friends and also shown to be brave and have unique heroic characteristics. Some examples are in Timon's Time Togo, where he rescues Pumbaa from falling off a cliff, French Fried, where he and Pumbaa rescue Speedy the snail from getting cooked by Culinary Quint, Once Upon a Timon, where he and Pumbaa rescue Tatiana from a cobra, and Forbidden Pumbaa, where he tries to rescue Pumbaa from an alien robot without any hesitation. In The Lion King 1.5, Timon shows more of his heroism than seen in other appearances, such as having exceptional bravery in the part where he risks his own life to fix a failed hyena trap that Ma and Uncle Max create. First is draw the body of the meerkat, then draw the belly part and decorate the bar for Timon. Next is to draw 2 arms and 2 legs for Timon. Next is to draw the tail of the meerkat for Timon. Finally is to draw the head of the meerkat and decorate the face, then attach 2 ears and draw the hair on top of the head of the meerkat for Timon. So the character Timon from the movie The Lion King has been completed. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to receive the new notify. At the same time, download the app and go to the website DisneyStore to shopping online, as well as Disney Plus to watch some movies and TV shows for free, used by many people of the world. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching and goodbye everyone.